US President Joe Biden has spoken after a special forces raid that ended in the death of the leader of the violent Islamic State group in Syria's northwestern Idlib province. The raid targeted Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi, who took over as head of the militant group on October 31, 2019, just days after leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi died during a US raid in the same area. A US official said he died as al-Baghdadi did, by exploding a bomb that killed himself and members of his family, including women and children, as US forces approached. US Special Operations Forces conducted a large-scale counter-terrorism raid in northwestern Syria overnight Thursday, in what the Pentagon said was a successful mission. AP photo Ghaith Alsayed. He is also known as Emir Mohammed Saidi Abdurrahman al-Mawla. Mr. Biden emerged mid-morning US time to deliver a brief statement about the mission from the White House Roosevelt Room. This operation is a testament to America's reach and capability to take out terrorist threats no matter where they try to hide anywhere in the world, he said, issuing a message to terrorists who are still at large. We will come after you and find you. He added that every precaution had been made to protect civilians, saying, "We do know that as our troops approach to capture the terrorist, in a final act of desperate cowardice, with no regard to the life of his own family or those of others in the building, he chose to blow himself up, rather than face justice for the crimes he has committed." Knowing that this terrorist had chosen to surround himself with families, including children, we made a choice to pursue a special forces raid at a much greater risk to our own people rather than targeting him with an airstrike. We made this choice to minimize civilian casualties, Mr. Biden said. The operation came as IS has been trying for a resurgence, with a series of attacks in the region, including a 10-day assault late last month to seize a prison. US Special Forces landed in helicopters and assaulted a house in a rebel-held corner of Syria, clashing for 2 hours with gunmen, witnesses said. Residents described continuous gunfire and explosions that jolted the town of Atmeh, near the Turkish border, an area dotted with camps for internally displaced people from Syria's civil war. Biden said in a statement that he ordered the raid to protect the American people and our allies, and make the world a safer place. He planned to address the American public later Thursday morning. Thanks to the skill and bravery of our armed forces, we have taken off the battlefield Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi, the leader of ISIS, Biden said in a statement. He said all Americans involved in the operation returned safely. First responders at the scene, also known as the White Helmets, reported 13 people were killed, including 6 children and 4 women. The top floor of the house was almost totally destroyed in Thursday's raid, with the ceiling and walls knocked out. AP photo Ghaith Alsayed. The mission was successful, Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said in a brief statement. There were no US casualties. More information will be provided as it becomes available. Residents said helicopters flew overhead, and US forces clashed with gunmen for more than 2 hours around a 2-story house surrounded by olive trees. The top floor of the house was almost totally destroyed in Thursday's raid, with the ceiling and walls knocked out. The first moments were terrifying, no one knew what was happening, said Jamal El-Dedo, a resident of a nearby refugee camp. A Syrian man rides his scooter as he passes next to a shops after an operation by the US military in the Syrian village of Atmeh, in Idlib province, Syria, Thursday, February 3, 2022. AP photo Ghaith Alsayed. We were worried it could be Syrian aircraft, which brought back memories of barrel bombs that used to be dropped on us, he added, referring to crude explosives-filled containers used by President Bashar Assad's forces against opponents during the Syrian conflict. Residents and activists described witnessing a large ground assault, with US forces using megaphones urging women and children to leave the area. Omar Saleh, a resident of a nearby house, said his doors and windows started to rattle to the sound of low-flying aircraft at 1:10 a.m. local time. He then heard a man, speaking Arabic with an Iraqi or Saudi accent through a loudspeaker, urging women to surrender or leave the area. This went on for 45 minutes. There was no response. Then the machine gun fire erupted, Saleh said. He said the firing continued for 2 hours, as aircraft circled low over the area. Teo Al-Omar, an Idlib-based activist, said he witnessed clashes between fighters and the US force. Others reported hearing at least one major explosion during the operation. Mystery woman films Syria terror with niqab hidden camera view gallery. A US official said that one of the helicopters in the raid suffered a mechanical problem and had to be blown up on the ground. The US official spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss details of the military operation. The military operation got attention on social media, with tweets from the region describing helicopters firing around the building near Atmeh. Flight tracking data also suggested that multiple drones were circling the city of Sarmada and the village of Salwa, just north of the raid's location.